Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
Very good. I'm excited because we've got a Dear John letter today, and I think it's a good one. It's kind of an embarrassing one, but it's a good one, so we're going to get to that later in the program. Also, got a lot of other fun stuff to get to during this Thursday edition of the John and Heidi Show, and I've got a quote for you here. Do you know who Ayn Rand is?
Yes, I do.
Well, that's who the quote is from today. It says, "The question isn't who is going to let me, it's who is going to stop me." I like that. It's not who's going to let me do it. Who's going to stop me from doing it? I remember when I was a kid. I was probably more than a kid. I was in my maybe early 20s. I had an older person in my life, a boss, that said, "I would rather you beg for forgiveness than ask for permission." And I was like, oh, okay. So it was like a free ticket to do whatever you want to do as long as it's not going to get us all in a lot of trouble. And I always thought that was pretty cool. I was like, okay. So he was basically saying, don't ask me for permission for every little thing. If you think it's okay, do it. And if you're wrong, I guess ask for forgiveness later. So, and that's how this all happened.
Okay.
All right. Coming up here in a bit, we've got some special things going on today. We'll tell you all about that in a bit. Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It's Thursday, May the 18th. Today is Buy a Musical Instrument Day. If you were going to buy an instrument today, what instrument would it be, Heidi? A recorder?
Piano.
No. A piano? Like a grand piano?
Yes,
or
a baby grand piano.
Now, why would it be a baby grand?
Because they're adorable.
Oh, yeah. Well, we don't have room for that, so
No, we don't.
you're going to have to buy a recorder instead. And then we can do hot cross bonds.
Yeah, there you go.
Remember that? Today is HIV Vaccine Awareness Day. Today is I Love Reese's Day. Oh, my goodness. I do love those.
I do, too.
We can't have those in the house anymore, though. I'm on a bit of a diet right now, and I'm doing pretty good, other than the fact that Mother's Day, somebody brought a whole sleeve of Reese's home, and I ate half of them. So, happy Mother's Day to me.
That was for me.
I'm sorry. It's somebody at Kryptonite. It's National Museum Day, National Mother Whistlers Day, Hummus Day, and Visit Your Relatives Day. So get out there and do some of that on this Thursday, the 18th day of May. I love watching TV shows and movies, but I hated seeing my monthly bill get higher and higher. All that money every month just to watch TV. Well, not anymore. We cut our cable. We were paying $185 a month for channels we didn't even watch. Now we pay for just the internet, and we save about $150 a month. And we still get to watch what we want, when we want, with no monthly fee. Learn how you can do this too at channelsurfertv.com. Watch the video there to learn how to watch movies and TV with no monthly fee. Do it today and save 50% at channelsurfertv.com. You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. There are some who say high gas prices could be good news. What? How could high gas prices be good news? Well, unless, of course, you're selling gas, but that's not even the same people. They say there's a small glimmer of good news with gas prices going up. First of all, I got to ask, have gas prices gone up?
No, not yet.
I'm going to say I hadn't noticed that. So if they have, I haven't noticed. It says people who bought one of those hybrids are recouping their high cost of their vehicle in less time when prices of gasoline go up. I think it's because this time of year is usually when it does go up. That's probably why this story is out. Isn't it right around Memorial Day?
I don't know.
It's like high gas season starts. It says, while projections for breaking even had been around 5 years, rising gas prices have driven that down to 2 or 3 years. On the downside, the increased demand for hybrids is driving up the prices of the hybrids. So, of course, not all hybrids are created economically equal. At the current fuel prices from whenever this story was written, see, it's from the internet, so I have no idea.
This must be really old.
I don't know. It says at the current fuel prices, the Toyota Highlander hybrid would take 12.7 years for the break-even point. A Saturn Aura would take 24.3 years. But those don't top the list. The $106,000 Lexus LS600H hybrid, compared to the gasoline version, it would take you 102 years.
Yeah. And
102 years, Heidi.
That's the most ridiculous thing ever.
That's probably not going to happen. Here's the thing that I think is interesting. I remember a couple years ago, there was a device they were trying to develop. It was called the push hog, I think, or the gas hog. No, it wasn't. Anyway, it was a thing that you would attach to any vehicle to make it a hybrid vehicle. And I thought it was a neat idea. and they were trying to figure out how they could get it to blend into all of the vehicles. And I chimed in on the little page that this is a group of people who were giving input, and I was giving input. I said, don't make it blend in. One of the reasons people buy hybrids is to show that, hey, I'm doing my part. I'm pushing for the environment. So I was like, you could use this little push thing to let people know that, hey, look at this. Because the way that thing worked is like you started your car and it would idle, and then this thing would push you around, but you needed your vehicle running so all of the functions on your vehicle worked. I thought it was a neat idea, and I can't believe I've never seen them really take off. So anyway, this deal here, it's true because you heard it on the radio.
John and Heidi.
Each day at this time, we talk about people doing dumb things under the influence, but addiction is no laughing matter. If you or someone you know needs help, there's a toll-free number you can call.
1-800-438-0380.
That's the Addiction Hope and Helpline.
1-800-438-0380.
And this is your brain on drugs. Got a lot of drug people upset overseas right now, Heidi. And it's not just drug people. Got a lot of people mad. The Hindus are mad. The vegetarians are mad. The vegans are mad. They're all voicing their outrage because Britain has changed their 5-pound note.
Oh, I read about this.
Yeah. The new 5-pound polymer note was found to contain animal fat. So people are freaking out. But the drug users are the ones complaining the most. They say this thicker
Makes
and
their noses
stronger
bleed when
plastic
they
note
snort.
has left them with cut noses when they're trying to snort cocaine.
That's ridiculous.
Are you seriously
They
going to...
should make all of them out of that. That's what I would do.
Yeah,
I would
I'd be
change
like,
all of the notes to that.
We may have found a solution.
Exactly.
Look, I don't like this when it cuts my nose when I'm breaking the law, snorting cocaine and such.
And who are they complaining to? I mean,
I don't know.
You would think it would be very easy to find the people that are... Just look for the people with the bloody noses and then give them a drug test and arrest them.
All right. Coming up, we've got your moment of duh.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh. We head to Germany. I actually just shared this story with our friend Eric the other day. He thought this was really funny. A man in Germany broke into a shop to steal a karaoke set. He ripped open his down jacket and stuffed all the goods inside, and then the crime spree did not necessarily go as planned. As he took flight, he failed to notice that when he ripped open his coat to stuff it in there, he actually ripped open his down jacket, and some feathers fell out. And as he walked home, more feathers fell out. And as he went to his house, even more feathers fell out. So when they realized this karaoke machine was not there anymore, they followed the trail of feathers directly to his place. He was astonished when police came knocking at his door a very short time later. Now, the good news is the feathers were still there because that's something that would very easily blow away. So it must not have been windy.
If it was winter.
Yeah, I don't know if it was. I suppose if he was wearing a down jacket, it was probably chilly out.
Yeah.
Anyway, I thought that was kind of funny. So he's fooled by the feathered friends inside of his coat. Coming up, we've got your scoop of the day. That is on the way.
John and Heidi.
Would you like custom t-shirts for an event or sports team? We understand that usually the budget's not unlimited. We have full-color custom printed t-shirts for just $7 each. That's one of the best prices you'll find anywhere. No minimum orders, so you can print just one or print 1,000. The price is just $7 per shirt with a minimal setup fee per design. Make the memories of your next event last forever or help your team look amazing with a little help from CustomShirtInc.com. That's CustomShirtInc.com.
Now your scoop of the day. And, lately we've had a lot of airlines in the news. We had United for many things that they've done. JetBlue has stepped up to the plate saying, hey, we want some attention. They recently removed a family over a controversy surrounding a cake that they brought on the plane. What the what? First of all, I got to ask, have you ever brought
I've never seen anybody take a cake on an
I've
airplane.
never seen that either.
And where would you store it? You can't. It's not like you can put it in overhead without it shifting and making a big mess.
I think next time we travel, we should try to take a Thanksgiving meal. I mean, we just should. Pop-Tarts are the grab-and-go breakfast of our childhood, but now they've departed from breakfast entirely. There's now a new flavor hitting the store later this month, Jolly Rancher flavored Pop-Tarts. 3 varieties, green, apple, cherry, and watermelon. And it's funny because they don't really even promote them as breakfast anymore. People eat them all the time. They're like, why be a breakfast food when we can have people eat our stuff 7 days a
I
week,
like the ones
24 hours a
without
day.
frosting.
Yeah, she does. And I've caught you eating those, and then you
They're
put butter
so
on them.
good. Oh my gosh, they're
She'll
so good.
toast it and put butter on it. The first
it
time she
melts
did
right
that, I
in
was
there.
like,
Oh.
I don't know if this marriage is going to work out. What else do you eat with butter? Pizza. I've
Yeah,
noticed it.
pizza.
That's weird. It's
Just
hard for me to get.
frozen pizza and
Yeah.
Chef Boyardee pizza.
Yeah.
I don't eat like delivered.
Well, it's not
pizza
like
that
you're a
way.
lunatic or anything.
Not
Just
crazy.
saying. Hey, speaking of crazy, people are going crazy for a mouse-sized amusement park in Sweden. It's part of an art installation, and the attention to detail is amazing, with a terrorizing roller coaster shaped like a kitty cat, a small popcorn stand where the mice can get popcorn, supposedly, a Ferris wheel, and even a little itty-bitty porta potty. I think that's pretty darn cool. Hey, there's a rumor that there's already tension on the TV show between Kelly Ripa and Ryan Seacrest. What do they call that show now?
shocker.
It used to be...
Kelly and Ryan.
Is that what it's called? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. It's not Ryan and Kelly?
Oh,
Is that where the
no.
tension's coming, you think? Didn't we call it ahead of time?
We called that
Yeah.
way ahead of time.
I wish them both the very best.
She is such an egomaniac. There's no way she could share her ego with
Well,
somebody else who's also an egomaniac. There's just no way.
coming from two egomaniacs right here.
I
Thank
don't
you so
think
much.
I'm an egomaniac.
Are you sure?
You are.
I'm
That's
glad.
why your name has to be first all the time.
Is it really? Is that why we do that? It's not alphabetical. H-I-J. Yeah, well, I guess I have to talk to my agent and see how we can fix that. Oh, wait a minute. I don't have an agent. Hey, a truck driver who heard a strange thud when he was cruising down the road in Ohio, he was on a highway, pulled over to find landing gear from an airplane sticking out of his trailer. Yeah, he was clipped by an airplane that was making a low approach. Thank goodness nobody was injured on the collision. The pilot had to land on its belly because
His landing gear was
left his landing gear on this guy's trailer.
Maybe you shouldn't make such a low approach.
Yeah, I would say maybe next time not go that low. Kelly Clarkson, for those of you who are online, you probably already know this. I'm not probably breaking the news to anybody, but she's joining The Voice next year. It was announced Thursday, so this has been out for a week now. NBC revealed that the Grammy winner is set to be one of the coaches for season 14 of the reality singing competition. We have a friend that we were trying to get on The Voice, and we just found out he's not going to try out.
Yeah, well, he was all set to go and had a time and everything for the audition, and then
Found out it was a cappella.
a cappella.
And he's like, I don't want to do that. I would still do it. I mean,
Well, it's tough with the type of music that he sings. He's
Yeah.
a hard rock singer. It's hard to do like AC/DC without the music behind it.
well, I bet if anybody could do it, he could. And I'm sad that he's not going. Final story here. General Mills is giving away 10,000 boxes of marshmallow-only Lucky Charms. That's kind of my favorite part of Lucky Charms anyway. The boxes, says the only way you can get them is to win them. Specially marked rainbow boxes will be on store shelves. Inside some of them will be a special code to enter on a website to receive a box full of marshmallows. So that's kind of weird. You got to buy a box of stuff, and then once you open the box of stuff, you open it up to see if you win another box of stuff. I don't know. Sounds like a lot of work. I probably won't do that. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Dear John Letters on the way.
John and Heidi.
80s in the Sand will be happening this November in Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic.
And that'll be here before you know it.
Join us and have a blast with 80s in the Sand.
An all-inclusive vacation with some of the greatest bands of the 80s.
Plus, you can meet some 80s icons from the movies and television as well.
Get all the details at 80sinthesand.com.
Use promo code RADIO to get a $200 immediate refund per person.
That website is 80sinthesand.com.
Book your week-long 80s vacation now at 80sinthesand.com.
John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. It's time right now for something we really like doing around here. We do it once a week. It's called Dear John Letters.
Dear John. Dear John.
And if you've got a Dear John letter you'd like to send in, we'd love to have it for next week. We've already got one picked out for this week, and I've got it right here in front of me. All right. And I also want to say, you can certainly chime in with your advice on this, and I would love it if you would, because I think, especially today, we need a lot of advice from a lot of different perspectives. I don't know if my advice and Heidi's advice is going to be even close to each other, but I think this is one of those topics that, you know what, everybody's going to have an opinion. You probably won't agree, maybe won't agree, but you chime in at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. You ready for this?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Dear John, my son is 13. The other day I was cleaning his room, which I had asked him to do about 10 times, and I found some pornographic images. I've not talked to him about it yet,
but I think he knows I found them. It's been a weird few days, to say the least. His father has been out of the picture since he was a toddler, and I don't have any father figures in his life. I made the choice to put him first and not to date until he graduates. It's hard for me to relate to this, but I'm wondering if this is normal. Should I be concerned? Should I have a discussion with him about it or not? I want to make sure my son respects women, but I don't want to be overbearing about this if it's not really a big deal. Signed, Embarrassed Mama. I'm sure he knew they were there. and if you cleaned the room,
He knew they were there.
I'm sure he knew that you probably found them. This is one of those things. He's 13 years old.
It's very normal.
I was going to say he's curious, and I don't want to say that it's normal, because I can tell you there's people listening.
Normal.
But there are people listening that
it's
said
normal for a teenage boy to have those things. It is not abnormal.
But a lot of it is, I like where you said in here, I want to make sure my son respects women. If you start seeing things in his life where he's treating women differently, then that's where I think it's becoming a problem. And if you haven't seen anything like that, I think that this could probably fall under the category of just a kid who's curious. And, I don't know at that age. I'm trying to think of when I was 13. I don't remember.
I've heard stories of your guys' room when you were
I know.
growing up.
Yeah, and
they were hanging on the walls. They weren't just hidden.
We
in
were
a
terrible
drawer.
kids. I'm not saying that we weren't. We were awful kids. We had a bunch of rental properties when I was a kid, and we would clean those out, and we found all kinds of naughty things that we had hanging up. And my parents hardly ever came to our room. I remember when my mother came in one time and saw it. She's like, "What are you guys doing in here?" Like, "Oh, what do you think of this one, Mom?" Yeah, take that down. So, sorry, Mom. We were awful kids. Anyway, we turned out just fine. Okay, maybe not. Don't use me as the benchmark. No, today this is one where I seriously would like to have advice from as many people as possible on our Facebook page. This was posted early this morning, so it's on our Facebook page now, facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. And I wish there was a way to say something anonymously, but when you post, it's got your... But here's the thing. That's okay. You can post on there, and they can see who it is. It's, I still think it would be a good idea, though, for you to chime in and say, I think it's fine. Don't be concerned. And who knows? Both of us are saying we think it's probably normal. We may have a ton of people say, you really need to be concerned. You really need... And if that's what you think, please say that. Don't be afraid to disagree with what we said, because our opinion is just as important as your opinion. Your opinion is just as important as our opinion. And this is a person who's seriously asking for some assistance in raising her son. I want to make sure we give her good advice. And that's where it's really tough, because the whole Dear John Letters thing was supposed to be this silly little thing where we give you goofy advice and laugh and move on, but it's kind of become serious stuff, hasn't it?
Sometimes.
And do you have any advice that, for this young lady, Embarrassed Mama? What would you say? Should she talk to her son? I don't think she should.
I wouldn't talk to him. I wouldn't say anything to him. I would make photocopies of a photo of my face and tape it on top of the face of all of those girls. So next time he goes in to look at his pictures.
Oh. Heidi. Oh, my goodness. Wow. Maybe
You want him to look at women differently. That would certainly
one
do
picture
it.
of you, and then a photo of Grandma on one of them. Grandma. Don't
And if
tell
he has
Grandma.
a sister, make him aware that these women are women.
They're
that,
all
they're
somebody's
all
mother
somebody's
and
mother.
sister and daughter. It's a good idea, honestly. Yeah. Anyway, if you go down that road, you gotta write back and let us know how that goes. Anyway, if you've got some advice to chime in, please do so at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. And if you've got a letter that you'd like to submit for next week's Dear John Letters, you can do it at the same place. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday.
John and Heidi.
Would you like custom t-shirts for an event or sports team? We understand that usually the budget's not unlimited. We have full color custom printed t-shirts for just $7 each. That's one of the best prices you'll find anywhere. No minimum orders, so you can print just one or print 1,000. The price is just $7 per shirt with a minimal setup fee per design. Make the memories of your next event last forever, or help your team look amazing with a little help from CustomShirtInc.com. That's CustomShirtInc.com.
John and Heidi.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The longest recorded flight of a chicken is, how long do you think?
I don't know.
13 seconds.
Oh.
I think you could probably throw a chicken and make it stay in the air farther than 13 seconds. Not that I've ever tried throwing a chicken, I'm just saying. But that's not a very long flight. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The electric chair, you know, the thing used to put people to death,
Yes.
was invented by a dentist. Does that
That doesn't surprise me. They are sadistic.
No, they're not either. They know a lot about, pain in chairs, though. Okay, you sit here. I'm going to pull out all of your teeth. Usually they don't pull
I wonder
out.
if it was just an accident with the drill.
Yeah, I don't know.
And they thought, hey,
look at that.
this
Maybe.
worked.
Maybe. Strap them in first and, might be onto something here. And another fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The placement of a donkey's eyeballs in its head enables the donkey to see all 4 of its feet at the same time. That's kind of cool. So a donkey can see all 4 of his feet at the same exact time.
How would we know this?
I don't know. They asked a donkey, hey, can you see all 4 of your feet? And he's like, yeehaw. I think that means yes. All right. Couple of fun facts for you. Sorry. On a Thursday.
John and Heidi.
Have you thought of starting a home-based business but didn't like the idea of calling family and friends? This top-quality fitness and health products company lets you take advantage of their advertising power to reach people who wish to add a few hundred or a few $1,000s a week to their income by following a simple system. Plus, everyone who joins the team after you benefits you as well. To learn more about how you can leverage your time to help others get healthy and create wealth from home, call Scott Smith at 866-741-7242. That's 866-741-7242.
John and Heidi.
All right, we just wrapped up Mother's Day last weekend, and that means we got all kinds of fun Mother's stories and Mother's articles and things that I didn't get to. This is one from last week that I didn't get to. It says, things that every mother should have in the car. So we'll see if Heidi agrees with this list. Snacks. Should every mother have snacks in the car?
Well, it depends on how old your kids are.
What if they're 16 and 20?
No. It's not a necessity.
Hey, you know what? That would probably stop some of the fights we have when we're driving around. Here, you eat your fruit snacks. Okay. A spray bottle. I never would have thought of this, but do you think every mother should have a spray bottle?
No, for what?
It says, a
To
mother
break
said
up the fights?
she uses
Spray
a
'em in
spray
the
bottle
face?
to spray her kids when they're fighting. She says it shocks them and they hate it. Well, there you go. We definitely need that. Water. It's always nice to have water, especially if you run into a game or something where they're going to sell you a bottle of water for $9.
Yeah.
Say, just have it in the car. Emergency kit. This is a great thing for everybody to have, not just mom. Have an emergency kit. Things that you think you might actually need. I remember we did this one time right before really heavy winter time. I bought a bunch of trail mix on sale because it was on sale on an end cap. I was like, oh, hey, that's a good deal. And I put it in the car. I was like, if we ever get stranded in the car, I could just eat this trail mix. And then Heidi was in shopping at the next store. She came out. I had 4 bags gone already.
Yeah, I was like, so much for our emergency stuff.
I was like, well, I was stranded in this parking lot. Maybe I should have waited on those. Hand sanitizer. That's another thing you're supposed to have. Again, things every mom should have in the car. Baby wipes. Even if you don't have a baby, they come in handy for wiping a lot of stuff. Another thing is music. Nothing takes those angry kids and puts them in a good mood by playing some of your favorite music as loud as you possibly can. Oh, that's not what they're saying here? Their music? Okay. And then the last thing is a trash bag. All of this other stuff that has wrappers and all that, if you don't have something to put all those wrappers in, you're going to have a big mess. So there you go. A couple of things that mama should have in the car.
John and Heidi.
I love watching TV shows and movies, but I hated seeing my monthly bill get higher and higher. All that money every month just to watch TV. Well, not anymore. We cut our cable. We were paying $185 a month for channels we didn't even watch. Now we pay for just the internet, and we save about $150 a month. And we still get to watch what we want, when we want, with no monthly fee. Learn how you can do this too at channelsurfertv.com. Watch the video there to learn how to watch movies and TV with no monthly fee. Do it today and save 50% at channelsurfertv.com.
John and Heidi.
Whether you tend to sit or stand may make a big difference on your calories every day. A difference of up to 350 calories, quite honestly. That's a big difference.
Huge difference.
Overweight people in this study, this was from the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota. When I said that, did you think of mayonnaise? I did. So maybe I fall into that overweight category. I'm like, mayo, that sounds good right now. Overweight people in the study spent 2.5 extra hours daily in a chair than people who were leaner. It says, give up your seat on the bus or rise when you answer the phone, and it may make you more fit. So I'm supposed to stand more often.
If you stood every time you talked on the phone,
Yeah.
you would lose your weight in a day.
I'd weigh 62 pounds.
You would. It would be amazing. You should start doing that.
Stand while I'm on the phone?
Yeah. And maybe you wouldn't talk on the phone as long if you had to stand the whole time you were on the phone.
So can we set
You
it up
should make
like
that a new rule.
when the phone rings, there's like a electronic shock on my
Yeah.
chair? Oh, I got to stand up. That's right. All right. You just remind me next time I get on the phone that I should stand up. We'll
All
see how
right,
that
I will
works.
do that.
Yeah. I bet this will last and maybe the next 5 minutes.
I will nag you every time you're on the phone.
All right. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Interesting research from the Barna Group shows that people who identify themselves as Christians in the United States are absorbing non-biblical worldviews. So it says the study conducted with the Summit Ministries found that only 17% of Christians had a, quote, biblical worldview these days, end quote. The study showed that 4 in 10 practicing Christians were sympathetic to some Muslim teachings, 61% agreed with some new spirituality ideas, 54% could agree with postmodernist views, 36% agreed with some Marxist ideas, and 29% believed in some secular ideas. So I've got a link to this if you'd like to read the whole story, facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. And, we're Christians, and, I guess I don't know, they didn't specifically ask any of this stuff to me, so I don't know if I agree with it or not, but.
Well, and when they say some,
Yeah.
I'm sure that a lot of the stuff kind of overlaps or is very, very similar. So I don't know. I think that's a ridiculous study. Probably.
Well, there you go. If you think it's ridiculous.
They all are.
Yeah, Heidi's like, I want to get in on the ridiculous study funding, though. So I still think we need to start the John and Heidi Institute of Higher Learning or some crazy sounding thing where we can just do studies all day.
I love that.
And get paid for it because these guys got paid to do this study. Actually, that's not a bad one. The ones that are funny to me are the ones where it's a study that didn't need to be done.
Right.
It's like if you're
Most
nice
of
to
them
people, they
don't
tend
need
to
to be
like you
done.
more. Like, really? If you're nice to people, they like you
Yeah.
more? You needed a
So
study for
silly.
that? All right, coming up, we're going to talk about some interesting ways to get people to stop parking in the handicap spaces. That's on the way.
John and Heidi.
It's almost graduation time. If you have a son or daughter finishing high school, you need to hear this. They can go to college without racking up a pile of student loans. Matthew Einstone did. He saved over $70,000 on a top-rate education. Then he built a system to show you how to do it too. Learn how you can use this system for your kids or for yourself. Go to freeeducationuniversity.com. Sign up now and get a free 60-minute private consultation with Matthew. Use promo code RADIO20 to save 20% at freeeducationuniversity.com. That's freeeducationuniversity.com.
John and Heidi.
Apparently, this is a problem in an English town. They have a lot of unauthorized people parking in the handicap spaces. They're not taking those signs very seriously. They pull in and say, I'll park wherever I want to park. Well, in this English town, they decided we're going to embarrass these people. So, people who park without a permit in a handicap parking space will be asked to move their car or face the consequences of getting a ticket. But it won't be the person telling them to do it. It'll be the parking meter. Yeah, there's a special parking meter that senses when a car has arrived in the space. Once you've parked in this spot, the handicap parking space, when you open your door, you're going to hear, "Welcome to Stockport Town Hall. Please note that you're parked in a disabled parking space, and you must be able to display the relevant badge. If you do not display a relevant badge, you will be receiving a parking ticket. These conditions apply 24 hours a day, 7 days a week." So it probably says it in a more British version than I said there. But the idea is to make the person parking there literally feel as though somebody's watching them because, oh man, there's a voice telling me this.
Or to publicly embarrass the people who are truly disabled and make it even more obvious that they had to park in a handicap spot.
See, now I hadn't thought of that. The idea, though, is to make the person parking there feel uncomfortable. So if they're not
make
handicapped,
all of them feel uncomfortable, even the handicap. I wouldn't want to.
Look at me, handicapped guy.
Yeah.
Get out of the way. Like, man, I'm just trying to go in and pay my taxes. I never thought of that. The Stockport Town Hall. So I wonder. we should ask. I know some people who have a handicap parking badge.
Maybe
Would
they
they
put some sort of a chip on the handicap parking passes
that would tell if it was
deactivate it?
Yeah. See, there you go.
If they can be parked there.
See, now you're thinking. There's
Yeah.
probably an app for that. I don't know. Coming up, we've got some good news. Thank goodness. Get off this subject. Let's move on. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always try to wrap things up around here with some good news, and I think we've found some good news today, Heidi. I think we did. This is a good one here. It says, when a police officer responded to a heartbreaking call, he chose sympathy over punishment. Let me tell you what happened. Officer Milton responded to an incident about a shoplifter at a place called Family Dollar. Now, according to the Atlanta Police Department, store employees were holding this person that was caught stealing, waiting for the police to arrive. Guess who this person was?
Who's that?
A 12-year-old girl. They caught her stealing. The girl told the officer she was trying to take a pair of shoes that cost $2 to give to her 5-year-old sister who had no shoes. Rather than punish the 12-year-old, Officer Milton drove the girl to her home and met with her family. So instead of taking her downtown and booking her, and I just think it's a really neat thing because they were able to say, hey, first of all, $2 pair of shoes. If that's
did he buy the shoes?
It doesn't say that here, but I hope they did. I don't know. It doesn't say it in this part. I've got the entire story. See, here's the thing. If I don't edit everything down to a bite-sized nugget that I can read during this time on the radio, then I ramble through it. And then when I edit it down to just the part that I need on the radio, I never have the details you ask. I should give you the challenge of editing this down. But I do have the entire story at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. And that's also where you can go to see today's Dear John letter. And you can still chime in on that. If you've got advice, I love it when our listeners give our other listeners advice.
Oh, I do too.
Because if they're only getting the advice from John and Heidi, that's only, two perspectives. But if we got the advice from all of our listeners, that would be like 10 perspectives. Okay, there's more than 10 of you. But I'm just saying, if everybody chimed in with their advice, because I'm sure there are times we give advice where people go, no, that's not the right advice. You don't have to agree with us. Chime in and say, here's what I think you should do. And, people will be appreciative of that. So there you go. It's at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday.